Hi everyone, it's Amelia here from the University of Suffolk. Welcome to today's Let's Talk Uni. We're going to be looking today at student finance and particularly on how you go about actually applying for your student loan. But before that, I just want to go into a little bit more detail about what money is available and how much you might be entitled to borrow. The most important message for anybody who is thinking about going to university is that you do not need the cash in order to be able to go. So because of the student loan system that we have in this country, you don't need to save up and pay the whole lot of money when you start university. So the first part of what is often called student finance is the tuition fee loan. So this is available to all eligible students. So that means that regardless of your household income, everybody will be able to borrow a tuition fee loan, which will cover the full cost of their tuition fees. At most universities, that's £9,250 a year. This money is paid directly to your university, so you don't need to worry that you'll get this money and kind of accidentally spend it or anything like that. And it's supplied by Student Finance England or Student Finance Wales, Scotland, or Northern Ireland, depending on where you live. It's all applied for via the Student Finance England section of the .gov website. The second portion of money that you'll be entitled to borrow is the maintenance loan. So this is the money that the government will lend you to contribute towards living and studying expenses apart from the tuition fee loan. This will be paid directly to you in three termly instalments, so you'll get a chunk of the money at the beginning of each term. This money you do have to be careful not to spend all at once because you will receive that directly to you. It's also means tested, which means that it's based on household income. The principle essentially is that the lower your household income, the more money you will be able to borrow. In terms of living expenses, there are some key areas that you'll want to have a think about. So accommodation for most students will be the largest living expense that they have. This will depend a lot on the sort of accommodation you choose. So it's cheaper usually to live at home. And campus accommodation varies a lot in terms of age, style, and facilities. And this will affect how much you pay. Where you choose to shop, whether your accommodation offers catering, those will also affect your food costs. You'll want to think about travel. So whether you'll need to travel to or from the university each day, whether you'll want or need to run a car, how much you'll want or need to use public transport, how many times a term you might want to visit home. The facilities at the university will have an impact on how much of your own equipment and books you'll need to buy. So do explore with universities what support they're able to offer you. You'll want to think about the sort of social life you'd like to have. So obviously, the more often you go out, probably the more money you'll spend. And then just consider other essentials. So things like your mobile phone, your online subscriptions, any sports that you like to take part in. I'm not going to go into loads of detail in this session about exactly how much money you could be entitled to because everybody circumstances are different, and when student finance assess how much student loan you're entitled to, how much maintenance loan rather, they look at household income. So that's the income of the adults living in your house. So that would include one or both parents if you live with them. It could include a step parent. It won't include adult siblings, and it won't include income that you might have from any part-time jobs. So if your household income is below £25,000 a year, you will be entitled to the maximum amount of tuition fee loan. Now, if you live at home, that will be £7,747 a year. If you live away from home, but not in London, it will be £9,203 a year. And if you choose to live away from home and in London, it's just over £12,000 a year. London students do get a larger maintenance loan, but that's because the cost of living is much higher there. There's a student finance calculator on the student finance website, and that's a really helpful way to go and find out how much you might be entitled to before you actually complete your student finance application. It's worth exploring other sources of funding as well. So if you're studying a medicine or dentistry degree, or a subject allied to medicine, so another health science, you'll probably be eligible to access the NHS Learning Support Fund. This is separate to student finance. It's a separate application process, but it's additional money that supports students studying those courses. At the same time as you apply for your student finance, you can also apply for certain allowances. This includes disabled students allowance, childcare grant for student parents, parents living allowance, again for student parents, dependents grants if you have adult dependents, and there are also university-specific bursaries and scholarships. So those you'll need to research with individual universities, as there isn't really a one-stop shop for finding out about those. You will have to check with individual universities what you might be entitled to. And those can be based on all sorts of things. So they could be based on income, or they could be based on merit, so exam results. They could even be based on being good at sports or music or something like that. I'll talk quickly about how you go about repaying your student loan. So I guess the headline here is that once you've graduated and you have your student debt, your student loan that you've borrowed, the repayments you make are based on what you earn and not what you owe. So if you had two students and one had borrowed £50,000 and one had borrowed £1 million, the amount they would pay back per month if they were both earning the same would be the same. At the moment, the repayment threshold for student loans is £26,575 a year. So until you earn that amount of money, you won't actually be repaying any money back off your student loan. Likewise, if at any point during your career your earnings drop below that threshold, the repayments will stop. The calculation is £9,000, 9%, of any earnings that you make over the threshold. And I'll kind of give an example of that in a second. This is automatically deducted from your wages. It makes it a bit less painful. You won't really miss the money because it's automatically taken. You don't have to sort of hand it over. And under the current system, if you still owe money after 30 years, it will be written off. So the vast majority of students actually never pay off the full amount of their student loan. As an example of what this could look like, if you were earning £30,000 a year, you'd be earning £3,425 over the repayment threshold. 9% of £3,425 is £308.25. This will be divided into 12 monthly instalments, and the monthly repayment works out at £25.69. So as you can see, that's a really minimal amount per month. So in terms of actually applying for the student loan applications open from late February for the following autumn, and we do encourage you to apply as early as possible. It is possible to apply late. It's possible to apply, in fact, for up to 9 months after you've started your university course. But the later you leave it, the more likely it is that there will be delays in you receiving your first payment. You do not need to have any confirmed offers. So you don't need to have heard back from the universities that you've applied for. It will just apply for your student finance and confirm later which university you'll be going to and which course you'll be studying. You'll need to create an online account and answer the questions. And it's really important as well to note that your parents and carer will need to create a separate account, because they'll enter the details of their household income. And of course, the loan is based on their income. These details are then checked against HMRC records just to make sure that they tally up. In some cases, it might be that your parents or carers will be asked to submit some supporting documentation. So it's important that they're kind of ready to do that. And then hopefully, in most cases, it is pretty straightforward and doesn't take a very long time. Your loan will be awarded. It's really important to remember that you need to reapply for your student finance in each year of your course. You won't have to start the process from scratch, but you will have to let student finance know that you're still studying on your course. And also it is possible that your financial circumstances could change between the different years of your course. I hope you found this whistle stop tour of student finance helpful. If you do have any more questions at all that you would like to ask, you can find our schools liaison inbox address, so schoolsliaison@uos.ac.uk. So please do just drop us an email and we'll get back to you. Thanks very much. Bye.